guys, it's Frosting, and today I would like to welcome you to my Transformers Prime character ranking. Boop, 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 boop. I watched this on YouTube recently because one of my friends asked me to, and holy peak. So, I might make a full thoughts on video about this later if there's enough demand for it, but this is just the character ranking for now because the thoughts on videos take a long time to prepare, and I made this at 1 o'clock in the morning last night. So, here we go. First things first, before we do anything, I do have a fan on in the background, and I don't know if you guys can be able to hear it. Hopefully not, because I turned it low enough, but if you can, I'm sorry. That's what the weird noise is, if you can hear that. But, let's get into it. I'm also filming with a stylus today, so hopefully it should be easier than how I normally do it, and Google Slides will actually like me for once. Alright, first, spoiler warning for everything, because I am going to be talking about, like, late seasons and season 3 and character deaths and all that kind of fun stuff. But, I found the whole playlist of the Transformers Prime Complete series on YouTube, and it's posted by the Transformers official YouTube channel, meaning that it isn't piracy! Yay! I will put the link to the playlist in the description in case you guys also want to watch it, because I highly recommend it. I haven't watched a show this good in a hot minute, so I'm hoping that you guys appreciate it. Alright, now we get into it. Okay, first of up on the list, actually, no, we'll come back to him. First character on the list, excuse me, Google Slides. Hey, remember 2 seconds ago when I said that Google Slides wasn't going to be annoying, and then it decided to be annoying just now? Yeah, okay, anyway. First on the list, Optimus Prime. I feel like there's only one spot where you can rank him, because Optimus Prime is an S tier in every show and movie that he's in. I should probably also preference this character ranking by saying that Transformers Prime is the only Transformers show I have watched. I am planning on watching more in the future, but it's a very new interest for me. I've seen 2 of the Michael Bay movies in order. I think I started with, like, the 2007 one with Megan Fox, and the one after that in, like, that timeline. And then I watched Transformers Prime. I'm going to continue watching the Bayverse movies, and whatever, like, next shows go with this. And eventually I would like to watch all of it, but in the meantime, this is just where we're starting with. I am also aware that the Michael Bay movies don't do the lore right, and that they're only good for cool robots to blow things up, and there's not really lore, and that the actual, like, Transformers Prime and other shows are better about the lore. I'm aware of all of that. I've been info dumped by one of my friends. I think he's been on the channel before. His name's Candy. Anyway, I think I mentioned that I wanted to watch the Transformers show, and I awakened him like a sleeper agent, and he did nothing but talk about Transformers for the next 2 hours of that phone call. So, Candy, if you're watching this, hi. Alright. Anyways, back to it. Transformers Prime. Optimus Prime himself. S tier, obviously. Why is Google Slides still being annoying? Alright, S tier, obviously. I feel bad putting him anywhere else because, like, he's the Transformer that everybody recognizes. You know, I think him and Megatron, people who don't watch Transformers are like, oh, that's that guy. You know, you could kind of figure it out. But there's that. Megatron is farther in this list somewhere. I'd also put him in S tier when I get to him, but maybe A. I'll figure it out in a minute. But Optimus Prime, S tier. 100%. Okay. I don't really have any other things to say about Optimus Prime besides the fact that I love him. Actually, hold on. I do have one more thing. In Transformers Prime, specifically, why does every robot need to have their hips absolutely fucking snatched? Also, hear me out. On that note, hear me out on, like, half the characters in the show. I'll tell you whether or not they're a hear me out whenever we actually get to it, but Optimus Prime is definitely a hear me out. Speaking of hear me outs, next character on the list, and my absolute favorite character from the whole show, Knockout! First of all, Knockout, I also like the way you look in steel-plated radials. Thank you very much. Steel-belted radials. I can't talk today. Second of all, hear me the fuck out. this is my favorite Decepticon, and also favorite character in the whole show. I also like the robot Yowie that's happening, because he's married to Breakdown. Wait for it. In some of the comics, I think he's married to Breakdown. I don't know which ones. That's just what Candy told me. But I like Robot Yowie, so I like them both. And both of them are going to get S tier. But, back to Knockout. One thing I want to mention about him, and I was going to make a whole slide of, like, Hear Me Out Knockout, but I decided not to, and I decided to have restraint for this video. Although I have definitely made favorite character slides before, but anyway, Knockout. 1, I also like the way you look in steel plate belted radials. 2, I find it really funny how he had the balls to hit on the leader of the Autobots himself. I think there's one scene where he, like, catcalls him, and he's like, sweet ribs. I don't know why. That scene's really funny. He's also just a very good, like, comic relief character in general, except for when he's not being comic relief, and he's doing a fantastic job at everything, and I absolutely love him. I could probably talk about Knockout for, like, 10 minutes. But, despite that, S tier. Then, his robot Yowie husband, Breakdown! I don't think you're ready for the breakdown. See what I did there? Any K-pop Demon Hunter fans? No? Okay. Anyway, Breakdown. I also love him. I just wish that he got more screen time, because Knockout is in a lot more episodes than Breakdown is. And then, when Breakdown is important, he's either dying or is dead and being piloted by Silas. So, hold on, I also hate this black bar. What is happening here? He desperately needs more screen time, and I would like him to get more screen time. So, yeah. He goes in S tier with his husband, because I can't separate them. Alright, next up, just to get him out of the way, we have the, it's not Primus, it's the other one. Alpha Trion, there it is, I'm blanking. Primus isn't in here because of the fact that there's not, like, an actual image of him in the show. They just talk about him. So, I'd probably put Primus at, like, B tier, maybe, if he was on here, but he's not. Alpha Trion, though, is getting solid C. I do like his purpose in the show. He just doesn't have enough screen time, and, like, for how big and important of a character that they make him out to be, he doesn't get a lot of attention, except for if someone is about to die, and I don't like it when people die, especially when you threaten to kill off Optimus Prime. Because you can't just do that. I think he basically almost died at the end of Season 2, and then got revived, and better than ever. So, you know, there he is. He's just kind of there. Okay, next up, what's this one? Ah, yes, Raph. Alright. The human characters are on here too. Most of them anyway. I like Raph. He's just not my favorite out of all the human characters. I think if I could find her on here, my favorite is Nico, 100%. But he's not my favorite, but he is definitely useful, and I do actually care about the human characters, and I kind of wish that he got more episodes that were just him and the other ones, or, like, an episode that were, like, him and B are the main characters. I think I'd like to see some more of that, but, you know, the show's only, like, 60 episodes, so they can't do everything, but, yeah, I think he gets a solid A. He's definitely not my favorite, but most of the human characters besides Jack and Nico get lower, so there we go. Alright, next up, because I don't like the way his face is looking at me, Predaking! Whenever I first saw the Predacons in general, my brain was thinking, oh, shit, the Autobots are fucked. And then this guy came out of it, and I was like, oh, god damn! I do like him as a character. I think he's cool. He's definitely not my favorite, and he's probably the most, like, scary out of all the Decepticons. I think, like, if Megatron walked into the room, I would be like, okay, it's Megatron, right? But if he walked into the room, I'd be like, oh, shit, I gotta get out of here. Because he's terrifying as shit. So, I don't really know where I want to rank him, though. Definitely not S tier, because he's not my favorite character. So, maybe B? Yeah, okay. I'll put him in B tier. Fix the image again. What is happening? Alright, there we go. Solid B tier. Just because, like, I don't love him, but I don't not like him either. He's just kind of there. I feel like season 3 was a lot shorter than the other seasons, and because they just finished it with a movie. So I feel like if season 3 was longer and he got, like, more screen time to, like, develop his character more, I would like him a lot more. He's just not my favorite, and, like, they could have done more with him, they just didn't. Alright, I like to pick images from the back because I don't know what they are. Ah, yes, Silas. At first, I thought he was kind of cool because, like, the evil human villain thing is a cool idea, right? I do like the whole humans are trying to figure out Cybertronian technology to use it for evil. That villain arc makes a lot of sense, right? But then he did all the shit to Breakdown, and now I'm mad at him. I don't like him at all anymore because he, like, basically killed Breakdown and wore his corpse as a costume. I don't appreciate that. So he's going in D tier. If I had E tier, he would sit down here in E tier. But I do not, because as you can see, I cut the E tier off because I don't want to mess with it and my slides aren't long enough. Okay, there we go. D tier for him. F tier. Z tier. Negative, all the tiers. That's where he would go. I'm also going to spread some of these images out a little bit more so I can see what we're doing. Alright, there we go. Here we go. Here's Megatron while I have him. A minute ago, I already said that I put him at S, and that I do like Megatron. I think there's a lot of really funny scenes with Megatron in them, but there's also a lot of cool, like, I'm an evil robot, I'm gonna fight you now, like, badass type scenes, and I enjoy that a lot. So, Megatron, I'm giving him S tier. He's cool. I like him. Also, I feel bad separating him from Prime, just because, like, I don't know, there's a lot of lore there. Also, once again with the snatched as fuck hips, why do you need to be this stylish, Megatron? I do not understand. I think there are very few characters in the show that don't have them, like Bulkhead, as an example. He does definitely have thinner hips than he probably should, but they're not snatched, you know? Also, why is my image like that? Okay. Bulkhead. I like Bulkhead. I think he's a cool character. I do like the fact that we have so much diversity with personalities in the main character Autobots. But he's not my favorite character, and there are definitely characters that I like a lot more. So, I'm gonna give him solid A tier. Because, like, there were only a few scenes in the show that kind of annoyed me about him. Like, the episode where he gets, like, the Iacon files or whatever, and he's, like, only doing math for an episode. That one kind of irritated me. I don't know. I think anytime in season 3 when he was kind of a suck-up to Ultra Magnus, that irritated me. But most of the time, he's chill. Speaking of main character Autobots, excuse me, Google Slides, be normal, please. Speaking of main character Autobots, let's get RC in here. I can definitely see why people might not like her. I think I've seen some videos of people online that don't like RC, and I can kind of understand why, but I don't hate her. You know, I don't love her, but I don't hate her either. And again, with the snatch tips, it's just not... Look at how thin that is. It's not necessary. There are definitely some scenes where she annoys me, but it's not always. So, I'm also giving RC an A. Like that. Now, S tier character. Bumblebee. Bumblebee is a solid S tier, and I feel like the entire internet would smite me if I didn't put him up here. Actually, hold on. What's happening with this image? Let's just fix that. There we go. The entire internet would smite me if I didn't put Bumblebee in S tier, because he's S tier in everything that he's in. So, there he goes. Next up, to get her face off my screen, we have June Darby, aka Jack's mom. She's fine. She's definitely not my favorite character, but I like her a lot more than others, so I'm giving her solid C tier. She doesn't really, like, stand out in terms of things, and, like, she's one of the only human characters that I don't care about, like, at all. Like, I feel like if the show didn't have her in it, it would not affect my opinions on the show at all. I might like it a little bit more, but there's that. And then also Jack, just while we're here, this image is really long for some reason. He's not my favorite human. I think if I had to rank the humans in, like, my top 3 scale, it would probably be Nico, Jack, Raph. But I do kind of like him a little bit more, so... Oh, what is happening with this image right now? Oh, what? Okay, hold on. Probably to make it bigger, put it in the spot, and then shrink it. There we go. Jack gets an A. And he's not separated from our C. Yay, they get to hang out together. Alright. Next up, we have Dwayne The Rock Johnson. I mean Cliffjumper. Why was he voiced by Dwayne The Rock Johnson? I don't feel like that was necessary. Funny as fuck, but not necessary. And again, why is this image so long? Okay. I like him, but he and the other one, if I can find wherever the other guy is. Let me see if I can find him real quick. Hang on. Starscream, get him out of here. Is that it? Yeah, that one. Okay. Tailgate and Cliffjumper both, I'm ranking them at the same time because of the fact that they are a big part of the reason why RC annoys me. Because of the fact that she's traumatized, and she brings it up a little bit too much. Like, we get that you lost your partner, plural. We understand that you're upset about it. But, also, you don't have to bring it up every 20 minutes. You know, like, she brings it up way too often, and, like, every single time Arachnid is on screen, those are the episodes that RC annoys me, because of the fact that she's so, like, traumatized. And it just doesn't, like, the differences between how she acts when she's not being traumatized versus when these two are brought up and Arachnid's on screen, they're, like, two completely different characters to me, and I just don't like them that much. Also, I didn't recognize what this guy looked like when I googled him. I did not recognize this at all. I had to add text on the bottom that said Tailgate so that I would remember who this is, because I didn't recognize him. You know why? They don't show him very much on the screen. I think, Cliff makes sense because he's on screen for more than a few minutes in the first episode, and, like, he does die, but he is actually on the screen. You know? So, that's fine. I'll give him C tier for that. But Tailgate is barely in the show enough to be a character, to the point where I had no idea who this guy was until I googled him. And then I forget his name half the time, right? So I'm thinking, oh yes, Cliffjumper and silence from my brain, because I didn't know. So, for that, we're giving Tailgate D tier, just because of that. And if they ever did show him on screen, it was during, like, a dark scene, like, where they, like, not, like, dark as in, like, sad dark, I mean, dark as in, like, the lighting was off, so you couldn't really tell what he looks like a ton of the time. So, there's that. Alright, next up on the list, to get this thing off my screen, we have a Scraplet. I don't know why, I looked up the Transformers Prime wiki, which I'll put the link to that in the description as well, and that has a list of all the characters in alphabetical order, and so I would just look at the name, and if I recognize it as a character from this show, I would do the Googling, find an image, and then stick it in here, right? But there's a few that the thing missed. Like, a knockout isn't on the wiki for some reason, and I had to, like, I was looking at K, and there's some other guy in there. I don't know who the other guy was, but I looked at it, and I was like, wait a minute, knockout starts with a K. Why are you not on here? And there's a few that it missed. So if I missed any characters in this ranking, blame the wiki. But when I got to the S section, Scraplet was on there, and I was like, you know what? Fuck it, fine. So, there's Scraplet. When they're not being murderous little bitches, they're absolute little cutie pies, right? Look at him. He's cute. I would have this guy as a plushie, right? But then, the second you bring this thing near one of these, or just robots in general, they become murderous, and they try to eat you. And they are no longer cute when they choose murder. Although those episodes were very funny whenever they were involved. So, I'm going to give him D tier. There we go. Okay, let's find out what this image in the back is. Although I think I know just from the side. Wait for it. Hi, Ratchet. You're going in S tier. There's no room to debate here. Just get up there. I like Ratchet a lot. He's very funny. He doesn't do anything that I don't like very often. And, I think I've started to quote, Bulkhead, I needed that a lot recently. So, we like him. And, me and my friend Candy like to joke about the fact that he's basically like the grandpa to all the Autobots. And we call him Grandpappy Ratchet. It's very funny. Anyway, Ratchet goes in S tier. I should also probably make this a little bit longer because there's going to be more S tier people in here. What is this image? Yes, Unicron. I only put Unicron in because of the fact that he has like an actual design that I can use as a point of reference. If Primus had a design, he would have gone in here too, but I think I talked about this earlier in the video, but, you know, there he is. D tier with you. I don't really have that many thoughts on him. He's just kind of there. I don't hate him or anything, actually. No. Yeah, C tier. Okay. The concept of Unicron is cool, and I don't hate him or anything. I just don't have, like, that many opinions on him because of the fact that the other arcs of the show were more interesting for me. Like, Megatron is dead-ish, so he uses Dark Energon, and now he's gonna get a zombie army. You know, that was more interesting than the, hey, humans, your Earth's core is an ancient deity from Cybertron. You know? I don't know, we're just gonna put him down there. Alright, next up, I feel as though I should probably rank these two together at the same time, because we have, wait for it, come on, okay, there we go, we have Dreadwing and Skyquake at the same time. They're twins, so we gotta rank them together. I don't know, I like Dreadwing, but Skyquake doesn't have enough, like, stuff in it for me to do anything with him, so he's just gonna go lower, but I'm putting him at a solid C, just because he doesn't get enough screen time to have an opinion on him, but Dreadwing, however, is gonna go in solid, maybe B, just because I like him more than I do the characters in C tier, but I don't like him more than the stuff in A tier, so he's just going to go in the middle of the road here. There we go. Alright, next up, Nico! My personal favorite human out of the whole bunch. S tier with you. There we go. She's my favorite. I feel like she's the best human out of all of them. Even though she causes some issues, and she's the center of conflict in a lot of episodes, I do really like her. I think my favorite episode with Nico in it is the one where she gets the Apex armor, and she beats the absolute shit out of Starscream. That was a very fun episode, and I enjoyed that very much. And I think Starscream says something about, like, it can't defend, like, squishy things like you, and then she's like, it worked for you, didn't it? I don't know. She was absolute badass in that episode, and I love her. Alright, next up, what is this image? Ah, yes, the only other human that's left. Agent Fowler. I mean, Fowler's okay. He definitely has his moments for sure, but he's not like my favorite character or anything. I'm giving him solid B tier. I do feel like you couldn't have this show without him, because, like, how else does the whole robots in disguise thing make any sense? But he could have been better. You know? Like, I don't know. He's just kind of, Alright, let's do this image in the back here. Ah, yes, Wheeljack. He's very fun. I'm gonna give Wheeljack a solid A tier. I do like him when he's on screen. I think he'll annoy me occasionally, but I do enjoy the fact that he's here. You know what? Yeah, now that I think about it, the only time that Wheeljack ever annoyed me was the very first episode that he showed up, when it wasn't Wheeljack and it was Makeshift pretending to be Wheeljack. Also, Makeshift isn't on this ranking because the only images of him are just Wheeljack, and I didn't want to just use the same image twice and then just pretend it's Makeshift, so I just kind of went with it. Anyway, the only episodes where he actually annoyed me was when it was Makeshift pretending to be him, and also in season 3, anytime he's around Ultra Magnus, he annoyed me greatly, because, like, I just don't like Ultra Magnus that much, and so, like, anytime any of the characters get around him, they, like, change their personality a little bit, and I find it weird. So, I don't know. I just feel like Ultra Magnus wasn't asking a lot, and Wheeljack made it out to be a lot bigger of a deal than it was. So, there he goes. But besides that, I love him, and he's a very fun character, and I do like the fact that he's in the show, and I would like to see more of him. So, there he goes. Alright, I think, if my math is correct, we only have a few more left. So, let's do Shockwave while I'm clicking on the image. Shockwave, despite the fact that he came in during late season 2, early season 3-ish, I do feel like he's absolutely awesome. First of all, once again with the hips, why do you need to have that? Second of all, the giant eyeball was fun, and he's also the only other Decepticon besides Predaking that made me think, oh no, the Autobots are fucked. So, for Shockwave, okay, they both have Wave in their name. Shockwave and Soundwave both have Wave in their name, and my brain keeps mixing them up in my head because of it. So, get you out of here for a minute so that I can focus on this. Okay, you, A tier. He's definitely not my favorite character, which is why he's on an S. I think S tier usually goes to just my favorite characters of the bunch. But I do like him a lot, and if he had more screen time, he might be S tier. But, oh god, what is happening? I need to make more room in S tier. We're just going to move all of these images over like this so that I can make this bigger. Boop. Okay, now, speaking of characters that need to be an S tier, Soundwave! And also Laserbeak. I think Laserbeak would get S tier too if he was on here. He's just, you can just kind of see part of him on Soundwave because they're together all the time, but Soundwave goes in S tier. There's no doubt about it. He's one of the most useful and also badass Decepticons, and I personally love him. I've also seen photos of him. Oh, that's why the whole thing is moved over. Let me see if I could just fix this real quick. There we go. I broke it for a minute. Everything's fine. Okay, there we go. Everything's fine. I fixed it. I don't know what happened with that, but he's fine now. Alright, anyway, Soundwave S tier. He's a very useful Decepticon. He's also very badass. And I've seen pictures of the design from, I don't know what show it is, but it's like the super old looking one where his chest is like a cassette tape. That's cool. That right there is cool. It's like blue and yellow. I'll put an image in post. Editing frosting, don't forget to put that image in. I'll probably thank myself in the future for that. Anyway, I like him a lot. He's really cool. I do also find the whole, like, vow of silence interesting because of the fact that if he ever did need to say something, he would just use, like, recordings of other people's voices to, like, become his own. And I find it kind of cool because, like, in the Bayverse movies, they did something similar for Bumblebee, where he just uses the radio, which, like, I like the beep boops more than I do that, because the radio thing is kind of obnoxious. But, yeah. I like it when it's done on Soundwave. Except for, like, the one time when he did talk, when he got captured by the Autobots, and he was like, Autobots inferior, Soundwave superior. That was cool. Alright, I feel like we only have 3 left. Yeah, we've only got 3 left. Alright, next up, while I have the image up... Oh. Well. Okay. While I have the image up, Nemesis Prime. This is the evil Prime that Mech made in an attempt to be Optimus Prime. I love how, like... I like the fact that, like I said earlier, with Silas and Mech and the whole, like, using Cybertronian technology for evil science type stuff, that is a very interesting character trope, and I wish that Mech would have been involved a little bit more than they were. But Nemesis Prime by itself is also cool, because it's that idea. And I think during the episode where Nemesis Prime was involved, I think my favorite part whenever he was with B, and B tried to, like, say something to him, and he was like, what? I'm sorry, I don't understand. And then B was like, oh no, you're not Prime, I'm gonna kill you now. You know? That was interesting. Besides that, Nemesis Prime is a bitch, though, so he goes to D tier. There we go. Alright, next up, Starscream! Wait for it. This slideshow is being annoying today. Alright, Starscream is also gonna get S tier, because I find it really interesting when he's on screen, and I've been watching a lot of, like, Transformers Prime videos, like, about the show recently. Hold on, did I break it again? No, I didn't. Okay. And I find him very interesting, and he's very funny, and I like it when he's on screen a lot, just because, like, he's a great comedy relief character in terms of, like, he's hilarious when he fucks up, but he's also super funny. I also like to joke in my head that he's a sim for Megatron. I don't know why. I can just imagine that being in an alternate universe somewhere, because, like, he kind of is. You know, he's a massive suck-up to Megatron, but also, now imagine it if they were dating and he was a simp. That would be hilarious. Somebody draw that. Anyway, S tier, 100%. Alright, next up, this one. I saved this image for last, because I have thoughts. These two, I do not know their names, but these two are the other Predacons from the Beast Hunters movie. They're, like, friends with Predaking, I think. My thoughts on this are interesting. I feel like introducing 2 brand new characters in the very last piece of media that a show is gonna get is not a good idea, because you don't get time to figure them out, you know, because there's already so many characters in the show to begin with, but you also have to deal with the whole, like, the main characters need to be involved because they have to, like, solve the issue that's happening, and so they already don't get enough screen time to begin with. But then also, if it was one new character, it would make sense. Like, if it was just one of them, it would be fine. But the fact that there's 2 of them makes them extra annoying, because they constantly have to battle each other for attention on the screen. And they're constantly, like, hitting each other with shit and, like, bantering with each other. And they're just annoying combined as, like, one force. I just don't like them. The Predacon concept in general is cool, though, which is why Predaking's in B tier, just because I don't like him as much as everyone else, and he's scary, so that's why he goes over there. These two, they don't have the fear factor that Predaking does, because they act so stupid. So, I don't like them. So they go in D tier. Alright, and this is the finalized Transformers Prime ranking. Now, before I get into the summary of this, if you guys want to see a full-on thoughts on video for Transformers Prime while the show is still fresh on my mind, I am completely open to making that if there's demand for it. However, I have 14 gajillion other videos that I have, like, in a list on Google Docs that I have to go make, and I'm going to get to some of those first, but if you guys want to see that, let me know, and I will make it. Also, I have said some of the thoughts in here, so if I repeat myself in that video a bunch, that's probably why. But the summarized character ranking is, in S tier, we have Optimus Prime, Knockout, Breakdown, Megatron, Bumblebee, Ratchet, Nico, Soundwave, and Starscream. There we go. So many Decepticons start with an S. In A tier, we have Raph, Bulkhead, RC, Jack, Wheeljack, and Shockwave. There we go. Again, with the whole Soundwave and Shockwave and Starscream. Why are there so many S names? Alright, B tier, we have Predaking, Dreadwing, and William Fowler. In C tier, we have... Wait, hold on. Why is my Ultra Magnus image not in here? Hold up, let me find it. I put Ultra Magnus on here. Let me see if I missed anybody else while I'm looking at it. Oh, God, no, hold on. Why is that the only image that didn't load? Why is that the only image that refuses to load? Hold on. Just insert the Jeopardy music for a second. Okay, there we go. Ultra Magnus. I knew I was forgetting somebody. I don't know why the images just didn't work for Google Slides, but there he is. Alright. He's definitely not my favorite character. And at first, when I thought that Prime was going to die and that he was going to replace Prime, I didn't like him at all because I didn't like the whole, like, hey, a brand new character dies. A main character that we all know and love is going to die, and instead of giving everyone time to mourn his loss, you're just going to put somebody else in there to replace him and deal with him being the new leader as the conflict. I didn't like that premise at all. But he only did that for like an episode and a half before Prime came back, and then he just became part of the team, and then I started to like him a bit more. I just wish that the show was a little bit longer so that he could have had some more screen time and some more attention. So for that, I'm going to give him a solid B tier. Just because he's not my favorite. Actually, no. A tier. He's definitely not my favorite, and I like everyone else more. Alright, now we can summarize. Alright, S tier. Prime, Knockout, Breakdown, Megatron, Bumblebee, Ratchet, Nico, Soundwave, and Starscream. A tier, we have Raph, Bulkhead, RC, Jack, Wheeljack, Shockwave, and Ultra Magnus now. There we go. Glad you're here, buddy. Then in B tier, we have Predaking, Dreadwing, and William Fowler. In C tier, we have Alpha Trion, June Darby, aka Jack's mom, Cliffjumper, Unicron, and Skyquake. And last but not least, in D tier, we have Silas. Boo! I'm flipping him off over here. Y'all can't see it because I'm not doing webcam or anything, but I'm flipping him off over here. We have Tailgate, we have the Scraplets, we have Nemesis Prime, and we have these two bitches from the Beast Hunters movie. Alright, I hope you enjoyed my character ranking, and I thank you guys all for watching. Hold on, wait, back up. I thank you guys all for watching. Nope, I thank you all for watching. There we go, I can't talk today. And I hope that you guys all stick around for the next video. Like I said, I have a whole list of things in Google Docs that I will probably be making first, especially since I need to work on my Monster High stuff because that series is going to take forever. But I am also open to suggestions, so if you guys would like to see a part 2 of this where I talk about my full thoughts on the show, or maybe each season individually, or just like Decepticon ranking by themselves maybe, I don't know. I'm open to suggestions. Also, if there are any other Transformers nerds out there who have like show recommendations or like the timeline for everything and like which order I should watch stuff, that would be appreciated too. But I will see you all in the next video, And I hope that you guys have a great day, night, or whatever time it is that you're watching this. Goodbye, everyone.